Welcome to our Mac Valves video series, MIO-67 add-on instructions for Allen Bradley PLCs. In this video series, we're going to cover an introduction to the MIO module physical layout. We'll explain where to download the resources from the macvalves.com website, and we'll give you a brief explanation between the differences of Allen Bradley version 19 or version 20 firmware. What are exactly AOIs? So let's get started. Here we have Mac's MIO-67 communication module. This particular one is Ethernet IP. The Ethernet IP module consists of two Ethernet IP ports, port 1 and port 2. To the right side of the COM module, we have our valve stack. The COM module is powered through this power connector, which has dual power. 24 volts is supplied for the communication portion of the COM module. The second 24 volts is used to power the outputs of the valve coils over here on the right side. Typically, the second power input, 24 volts, is controlled by an emergency stop circuit, which then kills the power to the second power port and shuts off all 24 volts to your valves. When the e-stop is restored, power is reapplied to the COM module and the valves continue to operate. Your Mac IO-67 valve stack can be made up of user-selectable I/O modules. Up to 12 can be selected in any order. In this particular example, we are showing 4 I/O modules that have been added on to the COM module here on the right. Our first module, located to the left of the COM module, is slot 1. This module is an analog voltage I/O module. It can be set up for input or output control out of one of 4 ports. The analog voltage module is a 0 to 10 volt control. The next module in slot 2 is an analog current I/O module. It can control inputs and outputs out of one of 4 ports. The analog control is a 4 to 20 milliamp current output or input. The third module is a Power Plus module. This is an output module that has 6 ports that can be set up for 12 different outputs. The Power I/O module uses the same power connector as the COM module. The power connector has power that can be e-stopped for these particular outputs. The last module is a digital I/O module. It is comprised of 8 ports. Each of the ports have 2 inputs. Users can have 2 sensors connected to one port, such as an extended or retracted prox on an air cylinder. Ports on the digital I/O module can be set up for input or output control. Ports can also be configured for NPN or PNP. Please see the Mac I/O manual on how to set up the dip switches to configure your digital I/O module. In order to obtain the resources we need to configure our valve stack, we need to visit macvalves.com's website and visit the products link. Then go to the MIO-67 Field Bus menu. Here we will find different resources for other types of field bus protocols that are available. This video series is going to focus on Ethernet IP. Once we're at the resources page, we want to go ahead and download the Ethernet IP technical documents and configuration files. While we're also here, we want to obtain the Mac.io General IP Config tool. We will be using this tool in a separate video. Once we have downloaded these files, we need to unzip them into a place where we can access the contents of the zip file. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at the contents of the zip file that we downloaded from the macvalves.com website. Here is the folder that we extracted earlier. Inside the extracted folder, there are a few files here that we can explain. The first file is the Allen Bradley AOI Ethernet IP Users Guide. The second file is the MIO-67 Hardware Manual. This is often referred as the UI 173. The third file is a zip file of the AOI exports. While we're here, let's go ahead and unzip this folder. The fourth file that's contained in the zip file is the MacValves MIO tag name CSV. This file will be used later to import documentation into our PLC project. The last file provided is a MacValves MIO-67 EDS file. The EDS file is used to create an AOP. An AOP stands for Add-on Profile. An add-on profile is used in an Allen Bradley PLC to make configuration easy in PLCs that are version 20 and newer. An EDS file is not required for Allen Bradley PLCs with firmware version 19 or older. Let's briefly talk about an introduction to the Mac.io Ethernet IP Allen Bradley PLC software manual. There are a couple of introduction points that need to be discussed. One of the most important is the supported PLC controllers when using this particular add-on instruction manual. Add-on instructions are only supported in PLCs that use RSLogix 5000 or 5000 platform processors, such as CompactLogix or ControlLogic PLCs. Add-on instructions will not work with Allen Bradley MicroLogix, Micro 800, SLC 500, or PLC 5s. These are not supported. Finally, we will have two different video series that will discuss the configuration use of this MIO-67 when using PLCs that are version 19 or earlier, or PLCs that are version 20 or newer. These will be the add-on instructions that we will discuss in later videos. So what are AOIs? AOIs are a function block that we can import into an RSLogix 5000 project, for example. This particular project is a version 20 PLC that uses RSLogix 5000. In newer PLCs, Allen Bradley software is now called Logic Designer, or some people refer to it as Studio 5000. Both of the software packages import AOIs, or add-on instructions. An add-on instruction lives underneath the controller's organization folder. Add-on instructions are imported into your project by right-clicking on the add-on instruction folder and clicking Import Add-on Instruction. We will do this a little bit later in later videos. Once add-on instructions are imported into your project, they will appear on the instruction toolbar up above. You can click on the add-on tab here to locate all of the add-on instructions that have been imported into your project. Add-on instructions could also include other third-party function blocks from other vendors. To use an add-on instruction in your project, you can start a new rung or edit an existing rung, and simply selecting the add-on instruction you would like to use and dragging and dropping it onto the rung to add it into your project. You can also drag and drop AOIs from the add-on folder into your rung as well. We will cover more details of how to use these add-on instructions from Mac in future videos.